It's been 1 year since Myanmar's military seized power. The coup abruptly halted the Asian nation's long-awaited transition to democracy. Peaceful protests were met with violent crackdowns. Journalists were arrested, and recently, airstrikes. Let's take a look at what has happened in the past 12 months inside the country. On February 1st, 2021, the military takes power after claiming voter fraud in a 2020 general election, won by Aung San Suu Kyi's party. Suu Kyi and other senior figures from the National League for Democracy are detained in morning raids. The military hands power to Army Chief Min Aung Hlaing. People across Myanmar begin a pots and pans protest every night to show their solidarity with people opposing the coup. Staff at 70 hospitals and medical departments stop work in protest. Police filed charges against Suu Kyi, saying military officials searching her residence found 6 handheld radios imported illegally and used without permission, and that this is why she has been detained. February 4th, Myanmar's military blocks Facebook and other messaging services that protesters had been using to share information. Protests continue to sweep across the country in the biggest show of anger since the 2007 anti-military protests. One hand gesture emerges as the movement's defining symbol, a 3-finger salute inspired by the Hunger Games films. In March, at least 19 police flee to India, saying they don't want to take orders from the military. As the military marks Armed Forces Day with a parade, in other parts of the country, troops kill at least 160 people, the bloodiest day of violence. On March 28th, about 3,000 villagers flee from Karen State to Thailand after the army launches airstrikes in their territory. In April, military opponents announce a national unity government aiming to end military rule and restore democracy. 3.5 months later, Army Chief Min Aung Hlaing takes the role of Prime Minister. He repeats a pledge to hold elections by 2023. By mid-August, the death toll tops 1,000 as a result of security forces cracking down on protesters. That's according to the Assistance Association for Political Prisoners. The military has said the figures are exaggerated and that the Assistance Association for Political Prisoners spreads false information.
Activists everywhere, not only in the cities, but many of the people have been disappeared. That we don't know where they are, and like many people have still been tortured and killed. Even like my friends today, like some of my friends, that they are being arrested and they are being sentenced for 10-year imprisonment. They keep arresting and charging all of the activists and all of the people from the rebellion side.
On December 5th, Suu Kyi is found guilty of incitement and breaching coronavirus restrictions. She is set to serve 2 years in detention at an undisclosed location. In January 2022, more bad news for Suu Kyi. A court jails her for 4 more years on charges including possession of those unlicensed walkie-talkies. A couple of days later, 5 new corruption charges against the 76-year-old politician are announced. In all, Suu Kyi faces at least 150 years in prison. On the streets of Yangon, there are still occasional flash mob anti-coup protests. Activists say more than 8,000 people are detained in prisons. But the military has not disclosed the exact number of people in detention.